Hi, my name is Gretchen Shepherd, and this is the first episode of a new podcast for me. And the podcast is called The Little Giant Things. And this came about after listening to another podcast on Chase Jarvis Live on his summer school podcast where he's revisiting ones. And this was one done with Mel Robbins, who's the author of The High Five Habit and the 5 Second Rule. Neither book I had read, but that interview that he had with her really struck home. And it made me start to think about some of those little things and the giant impact that that little thing has had on me. And so I wanted to share some of those, maybe get in the comments from people about little things that they have done that have impacted them in a giant way, but to see where this goes and to see what happens when when I try a little thing and what has happened. So I'm going to be doing some time reflecting on past little things and where they have taken me, whether they took me to a higher level or whether they took me down a rabbit hole. And was that rabbit hole so bad? That concept of squirreling and that it takes you off. But squirrels get a bad rap. They are really, really pretty productive. So we might talk a little bit about things like that, but mainly I'm going to focus on those little things, the actions, the interactions, the experiences, the ideas, those small steps that we hear about and that maybe we take, and we oftentimes don't recognize how far they took us and what a giant impact it had. So that is what this is going to be all about. It is about the little giant things. The podcast will happen probably starting out once a week. It might start out more than that. I have a lot to say, and hopefully, if you hear this, you will have something to contribute to, something that is a positive. There will be things to sort out that perhaps were not positive, but what in those little things that didn't turn out like we expected, did we find something good? Can we find the good in that? And that is really what I want to focus on, because in the past few years, I have discovered that there are so many little things that I have changed and done that have created such a monumentally huge, giant impact on me that they are worth celebrating. And I want to hear about yours too. So that's what this is going to be about. So this first thing that got this all started was listening to this podcast with an interview with Mel Robbins and her book, The High Five Habit. I just started reading it. I'm on chapter 2. But the interview and what she talked about how this came about really was impactful. It was not something she was expecting. It came about at a time when she was really down, and that she high-fived herself in the mirror one morning. And she posted that picture. And by an hour later, she had hundreds of people posting them back to her. She didn't ask people for a response. She didn't ask for anything. She just posted this picture of her high-fiving herself. From there, it resulted in this study and research about the neuroscience behind a high five. What? That intrigued me. But what intrigued me the most was to give it a try. I'm on day 2 of my high five myself in the morning. And I'm doing this podcast, which 2 days ago I had no intention of doing. That's a little thing that is kind of a big step. Not quite giant yet, but we'll see. And I'm going to try to document for myself how it makes me feel, how I react, how it starts my day, how it brings me to my creative work hour that I join in every morning. What happens? What's the ripple effect? The ripple effect, the domino effect, the greater big picture, whatever you want to call it. It's something to think about. And it's something to take in on what it does for myself. And I hope to share that with you. So for now, I'm only on chapter 2 of the book. I'll read it a chapter every day, thinking about that plus the other things. But for now, my little step is a high five to myself every day. Done 2 days. I'm going to keep going. And the one thing I have learned about these little things that make a giant is that you've got to give them a chance to take hold. If you do something once, it's not a little thing. It's just a blip in the universe. You haven't given it a chance. So I'm going to repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Think about what worked, what's changed, and keep consistent with that one thing to see how it grows before I add something new. I have more to talk about that at another show, but for now, that's what I'm doing. One little thing and giving it a chance to see how it grows. For now, that's my thoughts on the little giant things. Man, give yourself a high five in the mirror, and sometime between now and the next time you join me, keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around you. But the first place you'll find it, I bet, is if you go look in the mirror. See you next time.